to another episode of the Road to Nowhere podcast. I'm Extreme from Extreme FTW Gaming. This is Jimmy G from the Jimmy G Experience. We welcome you guys to another episode. Yes, we are starting late. I was having some technical difficulties. I do have a new graphics card, but it's not. It doesn't want to work and stream my camera to other sources at the same time. It's like fuck you. So, my apologies there. But like I said, we are back, and man, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not sure where I want to start things this week. So, hey, do you have anything you want to talk about, dude? Because I've got a ton, but yeah, I don't know how much of it you're gonna know about, and I also don't want to spoil certain things for people, namely you.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So,
No, so like really all I got is like personal stuff, like I made some investments as you guys all know about like coaching to help me get better at Rocket League and I haven't really seen any results when it comes to rank, but I have seen results when it comes to my gameplay. And sometimes just having the gameplay results is it's cool and everything, but it can be very very frustrating, especially when you have like this huge investment and it's sad. Sometimes I wonder, was it worth it? And just with that thought process in mind, it makes it more and more frustrating, um, because I want it to be worth it, not just for me but for y'all as well. And then also, like my whole mental state, well, like my mental status, my processing and of everything, it's it's on a whole nother page, and I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row, as it were. You know, I mean, Eddie, you know me. You've known me for a while, and I've had issues when it comes to just life things and thought processes, which is why I have anger issues. Why I
yeah,
make pretty poor decisions sometimes. Um,
that's a better statement.
yeah, I've actually thought about um, like going back into therapy and just for mental health and self awareness kind of thoughts. I mean, granted, even if therapy is not the way I need to go, they'll at least point me in the right direction, whether it be meditation classes or just self help. Who really knows? Um, that's me. Is I've been trying to get this kind of stuff in order, and doing the podcast with you. Granted, you are more long winded most of the time, but just sitting here going back and forth with you, within the process of all this, it gives me an outlet. I may not be the one talking all the time, but at least it allows me to communicate with another human, and
Yeah.
sometimes that's really all you need.
Yeah. I mean, I wish that were the case for me sometimes, but I get where you're coming from 100%, you know? So, um, I don't really know where to go from there.
Yeah, no, I'm just
So,
saying, like, that's just been my no, you're good. That's just been my self reflection. Positive note, I have been, like I said, I have seen improvement. Another positive note, I bought Destiny's Lightfall. And negative note, I couldn't figure out how to run the damn campaign. Like you said, go to Nexus to get it going, right? I go to
to Neptune.
Nexus or Neptune or whatever it was. I go there and it's like, hey, look, now you're gonna start the campaign. Like I can't even do anything on the world to try to figure it all out. It's like,
So
no, here
then,
you're starting
so
something.
then what happened
I'm
is
like,
you joined
dang.
somebody who had already started it.
Yeah.
You
No,
get no,
that's
you get no progress credit for that. So you have to start from scratch.
yeah. Well, that's fine. I just that's what I mean is I don't know how to start from scratch. And if
Yeah.
going there does that, then cool. If it doesn't, then I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, if you click on the node and it says, "Hey, start the campaign," then yeah, when you joined those guys the other day, they had already started it, and so you not being in their fire team and having whatever it is you needed to have active, you gain no progress. So you have to start from step one all over again.
I'm cool with that because I still got gear.
Yeah, yeah, you did. I saw you've got some pretty decent stuff going right now. So, but yeah, since you mentioned it, I am gonna talk about Destiny. However, because you have not completed the campaign and have no idea what's going on, I'm not going to talk about any kind of spoiler stuff. I'm not going to talk about, or I'm trying not to talk about any spoiler stuff or seasonal content. But I do want to talk about the community's response to the campaign and their frustrations with it. My takeaway after completing it now twice, which the first time was fun and enjoyable, a little, you know, head smashing at times. But when you play with more than one person, oh man, the difficulty ramps up fast, like really fast. Um, it's it's much more challenging with two people. So I don't know what it's going to be like with three.
What
I
about
don't want to do it.
4, bro?
You can't do four.
Oh,
But it's one of those things that no one was complaining. Like, so the issue comes with the narrative, the story elements that came out of the campaign. People felt it was a little too short, which I do agree. And of course, Bungie has come out and said, hey, the plan was never to give you the full story at the start of Lightfall. The plan was to do the a big chunk of the story with the release of Lightfall, and then finish it over the course of the seasons. And this is all going to lead us into the next major expansion, which is the last one of this story. When that we do that campaign, I'm guaranteeing you it's going to be as in depth and as detailed and as long, if not longer, than Witch Queen was. I'm almost certain of this. And then the next story beat will start with the new season, which is why I honestly believe that the next expansion, you will have to play the campaign, and then the seasonal content will come out, become accessible to you after you've completed the campaign. Or, and this is where I can see things being a little shitty for some people. If you're a completely free to play player, I can see the game being like the continued story of the campaign being locked out until someone actually beats the campaign, which won't take too long. At most, you might have to wait a few hours. Someone will play it through on easy, and then that'll be it. But that is an opinion. That is not fact. What is fact is that Lightfall campaign, there's elements that happen, and people are like, "What the fuck?" And then there's no further explanation, and so people are upset about it because they don't know what's going on. They don't understand it. This is
are you
the
one of those
story.
people, or do
No,
you have an
actually,
understanding?
I knew going into it that there was a good chance that that was their plan, is that they were planning on stretching the story out over the next year and really telling a very deep story. This means you have to play the seasonal content if you want the full story. Otherwise, you're going to miss big giant chunks of stuff. Um that's just the way Bungie wants to, present their game, and I fully support that, especially given that for them and for for this story that they've been telling for over almost 10 years now, I think, something like that. It's a pretty lengthy amount of time that Destiny has been out. Um Almost 10 years. It'll be 10 years this August or September. I'm not sure which, but uh
Didn't they learn anything with Halo? I mean, come on.
which Halo? Because the first three they
Exactly.
were amazing.
Well,
The
yeah,
thing
but they
is,
took too long to tell a story.
the thing is, that's the problem. Is you have people who want that long narrative, and then you have people who just want the quick boop. There it is. It's done. Okay, bye. I personally
I
want the longer, deeper story.
I was gonna say, I see. I'm on that page of I want a long narrative. I like a long story, but there
Yeah,
is a thing called too long.
The main reason why they're dragging it out is because if they tell you absolutely everything in the campaign, it's done. Okay, now you know everything. Now here's all the seasonal content. Okay, cool. What? They're gonna have to force stuff into the seasonal content that won't make sense and it'll literally just be throwaway information. They want it to be this deep, rich story that you are slowly exposed to after you get that first big chunk, and then the rest is
See,
all something that they give you in pieces so that you are fully able to grasp the full story and know exactly what the hell is going on
see, and I look at
come
it.
final.
I look at it like the length of time that they're taking to tell the story is just the story's being written as it's being told. They don't actually have a story. It's a, okay, well, what makes the most amount of sense? Okay, well, this makes sense. How can we add on to it next year if we choose to go what route? You know what I mean? Like they've had,
So
I take it as they've
there's
had the opportunity to end it several times, the story, and just start a new story about a new character, and they are like they just don't.
well, the thing is, so the story of Destiny is not one quick little boop, here's your story, and that's it. The story of Destiny is an ongoing, I mean, it's a live service game, and so they want you to stay engaged. Another live service game that's done the exact same thing with their storytelling is Warframe. It's worked for them, it's worked for Destiny, but for people who want that experience, like for a game of The Last of Us, or Halo, as you mentioned, they want that quick campaign. Well, maybe not quick, but they want that solid. Here's the full story in this one thing. Play it. Okay, you're done. That's it. But people who like the die-hard Destiny fans, they don't want that. In fact, that was one of the things that they were bitching and complaining about for a long time is that the narrative, as soon as you finish the campaign content, there's no tie-in with the seasonal content. So Bungie, wanting to appease both the majority and the minority, is doing just that with this next year of Destiny. They are changing the way the seasonal content plays out as well. That'll happen, and I think not the next season, but the season, or not this season, but the next season. I think we're going to start seeing some of those changes, and then the real meaty changes of how the seasonal content works out is going to be in the final season of this year, which I'm perfectly fine with. I think there's 4 seasons, so I don't know.
I do have a
Yeah,
question
I do
when
have
it
an answer.
comes to the die-hard fans of Destiny. Okay, the
Mhm.
die-hard fans. Would you say that they are PVE or PvP?
I would say the true diehard Destiny fans are a combination of both. They are not purely PvE. They are not purely PvP. They play everything that's available in the game. They do everything because they want to be able to have the best gear, the best equipment, the best perks, the best everything. I was one of those guys for a very long time, and then I no longer had people to play the game with. It made it frustrating because I want to do the raids. I want to do Trials of Osiris. I want to do all this other stuff that the game offers, but I really didn't have a means to do that. That was something that was supposed to be coming with Lightfall, but it got pushed back because um the tools that they wanted to put into the game weren't working the way they wanted them to, so they removed them, but they are still putting them in there. That still doesn't change the fact that the most diehard people, that's their mindset. They want to do everything. They want to participate in everything, and so yeah, those are the diehards, the ones that do everything the game offers: raids, PVE, dungeons, PvP. They do all the bounties. They get all the guns. They get everything. They go
Yeah.
nuts.
See,
Those are
I
the people that are most invested in the game and the future of it.
gotcha. Yeah, the people that I jumped in with the other day, um, I work. Those are the guys that I work with, right?
Mhm.
And they used to be those guys. You know, they used to be the diehard fan of they did everything, and then now one of them is like you, like he plays to the point of, okay, I'm at max light. I have the armor I want. Now I have to wait for the next expansion. And he does not.
I'm not that
I'm
way
just hold
anymore,
on.
but okay.
Right. I'm just saying, like, he's not a big
Yeah.
fan of PvP, so he'll actually put the game away and jump back to back and forth from it every now and again. Whenever he gets that itch.
Yeah.
The other guy just straight up like he bought all the expansions and he would play the campaigns and then he was done. Like he's like playing it for the story, get it on all of his characters, and then he's like, okay, and now I wait. Um, and he actually took a break for a while, and he just got back into it because of Lightfall. And so I'm like, all right, well that's cool. Like that adds another person I can play with because when I'm ready to play, you're not always online, and when you are online, I'll try to send you a message and um, Discord or through text, and you don't always answer, or you have
Yeah.
other stuff going on, so you're not actually there, but your game shows that you're there because you play the game, and
Or it's
all.
another situation altogether where it's not even me. I will
Yeah,
admit that. There have been a couple times. And thank you for the follows, by the way, for those of you that have followed during the stream. I do appreciate it. But yeah, there have been times where I've had Elliot jump on for me and do stuff. I was grinding out the sidearm from the 30th anniversary. I wanted to get the catalyst, and that thing was a bitch to grind out. They've since made it a lot freaking easier by just doing the bounties from Zur and from Star Horse, but it was so grindy, and I was working, so it's like, fuck, how do I do this? Oh hey, Elliot, do me a favor. And so I had him on here just playing Dares of Eternity for me over and over and over again. His exact words, if I never touch Dares again, I will not be too happy. And I just kind of laughed and I'm like, you hated it that much? He goes, well, there were some days where just it took forever to get through it. And I don't blame him because there are people who just at the time didn't understand the mechanics of the game very well. I will say this, with Lightfall, Bungie has made a really strong effort to explain to players, especially new players or players like yourself who aren't necessarily new, but they don't fully understand all the mechanics. They have, with the journey path, they have now set it up to show you how to do these things. My problem with that is there are players like yourself who still don't know some of these things, who kind of were just given rank 6 because you were playing before Lightfall started. And so I don't know if you're going to get that information thrown at you to help you through going forward, which freaking sucks.
I don't know what you
But
mean by like with mods or what.
with everything, with champions, with mods, with um trying to think what else, with certain mechanics in the game in general. Um with the loadouts. I mean, you were having an issue with that this morning.
No,
Uh,
no, no, no. I was not. That was you interpreting it as I was having an issue with the loadouts. I was trying to read what was on my screen. I actually had a loadout saved from the other day.
okay, my bad, my bad.
I was just trying to
But
read what the hell
my
the
my
screen was
point is
telling me.
my point is though, there are players who still don't know about it. Like, yes, the game kind of tells you about it, but it's through that journey path that you learn this stuff more directly. And unless you're paying attention to it, you're gonna miss it. That's one of the things that I feel like giving the players who came in just before Lightfall, or even like you did almost 2 years ago, it to me, it's like I'm not against it because yes, you have invested time, you have done stuff, but to say that you're in that same tier, it's like, I mean, I don't know. That just feels a little weird to me. It feels like you got screwed out of that knowledge that newer players are going to get just like that. And it's like,
Yeah,
where was this shit 2 years ago, 3 years ago? That is one of the
right.
things that has been one of the biggest complaints is that newer players just don't know all the mechanics. They don't know this. And Bungie did nothing to teach them other than occasionally throw a little blurb on the screen that you easily can miss if you hit the wrong button.
Yeah,
So yeah, I do think the journeys tab is a good thing, even though it's really stupid and you can easily um boost your commendations level up to the point where it doesn't fucking matter. Um, it's just one of those things. It's like some of the settings, some of the systems weren't, I guess, properly like thought out because you know there's going to be people that are going to take advantage of the easy way of doing things because they don't want to put in the effort. And that's one of the other things that upping the difficulty was Bungie's intention. They wanted to kind of force the mentality of, okay, if I want this, I'm gonna have to go do it. That's why they've gone so aggressively after all these um recovery sites that would allow you to pay somebody to do the thing for you and get you this thing. That was really big in trials, and then raids, of course, with the exotics and stuff, it became a bigger thing. I'm glad Bungie's gone to that extent to deal with those kind of things because it is a sense of cheating, you know? One of the reasons why my clan fell apart is members of the clan at the time were saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this service and paying someone just to do the thing for me so I don't have to do it." And I flat out told them, I was like, "If you do that, I will kick you from the clan because to me, that's cheating. Yes, you're spending money on it, but you're not paying Bungie for this service. You're paying some asshole who's literally just playing the game for you while you're doing something else."
Yeah.
I mean, I had my brother do Dares of Eternity for me, but there's a difference here. He lives in this house with me,
Yeah,
and
and it's not anything you're
he didn't.
not willing to grind yourself. It was just
Yeah,
trying to
I
get the
just
time.
my time. Yeah, and the other thing was, it wasn't like he was running with a group. He was going in by himself, and my brother is not a skilled player, like not even close. And he was using my stuff, and he still was like, "I don't know what the fuck I'm doing." But it was also my way of getting him back in the game. Regardless, when I told the guys, "Don't do that or I'll kick you from the clan," several of them got a little butthurt. In my opinion, that was rightfully so because they felt like that was me telling them what they can and cannot do. Mind you, right around the same time, a lot of clans started doing the same thing, including several of the clans that these guys joined. Because I've, still friends with some of them, and I'll see them online, and I watch as many of them have jumped from clan to clan to clan to clan to clan because they were doing that, and people were just, the people they were with were just like, "No, that's not okay." Um, so
So
yeah,
why didn't they just, instead of jumping clan to clan to clan, why didn't they just start their own?
I had made that suggestion to one of the guys I still talk to from time to time, and his response was, "Yeah, none of us wanted that responsibility, and we wanted to just join a group of people that had active members." The problem was it was a group of guys who combined were never on together. Like you would have 2 or 3 of them on, and then the rest would be busy or playing other games. Um, so they never really were on, so they couldn't do the things they wanted to do. They wanted to do raids and all this other stuff, and they just
Hmm.
couldn't because they didn't have the people. That was one of the problems with our clan is that we
I was
just
going to
didn't.
say, with them wanting to cheat, though, it sounds like even if they were, quote, on, they weren't actually going to be on.
And that's exactly how they got caught all the time, and that's how they got kicked from clans is because that was one of the rules that these clans were setting is that if you pay for a service, we will kick you. And they would get caught because, someone from the clan would try to message them and they'd get no response. And then they would try to join them and people would get kicked because that's what these people would do is, you know, they're just there to do the job that they're paid to do. Once they've completed that job, they're done, they're out, whatever. But they're not going to play with your friends. They're not going to do any of that because that's not what you paid them to do. Well, you do that enough times, someone's going to catch on like, okay, that's not this person. And so, yeah. Um, and then it is possible to find out if your account recovering. One of the guys actually got his account 30-day banned because he got caught by Bungie doing that. And when that happened, he just said fuck it and he stopped playing the game altogether. Uh, which I thought was hilarious. And when I found out about it, I was like, I could have sworn I mentioned this to you guys. And the guy I was talking to was like, "Yeah,
See,
yeah,
and I
they
I don't
they
understand why Bungie has a problem with it because it doesn't
because it's
change the
against their terms.
game.
It's against their terms of service. It's
Right.
in their terms of service to
I
say that.
understand that. I'm just saying it doesn't make sense to me as to why it's even in there because it doesn't change the game. It
It's
just
not so
allows people who don't have time to play the game that when they do have time to have the gear they want.
so the issue comes down to, account recovery is also in breach of service for Xbox and Microsoft, or sorry, for Microsoft and Sony. So you're not just breaching Bungie's terms of service, you're also breaching Sony and Microsoft's. It's been a thing for a long time. This was partially to combat game sharing that was, Microsoft was against it initially. They've since changed their tune. Same with Sony. But it's essentially cheating because you, as the actual account holder, are not playing the game. You're paying someone to do it for you. If you ask a buddy to do it, like if you ask me, hey, would you get on and grab the bounties for me? Believe it or not, that is still in breach of Bungie, Sony, and Microsoft's terms of service. Just like asking my brother to get on, I knew it was a breach of service, terms of service, but I still asked because I didn't have the time, and I wanted to get it done, and he was willing to do it. And it was the only at the time, it was the only PS4 we had in the house. I hadn't bought my PS5 yet, so it was giving him
I
a chance to
mean,
play, and so he
yeah,
was all for it.
that, and also being on the same console that your account is on. Again, I honestly don't see that as a breach of contract because it's on
Technically,
your
that's
console.
not. Technically, it's not. If the person is using your console in your home, it's
I mean,
you're not totally in breach.
even if it's not in your home, if I go say, "Hey, dude, take my console and play it up, dude, play it to your heart's content, get whatever gear, it's fine, whatever," then I don't understand how that would be in breach because it's the same
It's
fucking console.
so in that instance, it's technically not a breach. What is a breach is when you have someone, let's say you live in California, I live in Montana. You give me your account information and I'm able to log in for you here.
Yeah,
That's breach of the terms.
that. Yeah, I was gonna say that I can see as being a breach.
And that's what people were doing. That's the service they're paying. The person was not coming to their home and grabbing their console and then going playing the game for them. They were just recovering the account elsewhere. And the problem with that is it also puts you, for Destiny especially, it puts you in a different matchmaking region. So your account is set here. Like mine, I'm still somewhat tied to the West Coast, Southern California services. And so I will constantly come up against people who are in San Diego. I will load it into maps and missions, and there's people from the West Coast there. And I'm like, I'm in fucking Montana. Why am I not matching with more Montanans? It's because my initial account was registered in San Diego, so that's where it pairs me most of the time. Um,
Gotcha.
but so when you move away from your original zone, you will get matched with people in your area, but if the people in that area are a much lower skill gap than what you normally play against, especially for PvP, this is essentially cheating. Um, Again, Bungie has made a lot of strides to prevent this from being a thing, to fix this kind of cheating, and I support it. I've supported it since day one. I don't believe you should be able to pay somebody to get on and play for you. If a buddy wants to do it because they're bored, or like in my case, my brother was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. I've got nothing better to do. I'm home all day, every day. So what the fuck? Great." To me, if like anyone watching this has a similar situation, I'm fine with that. That doesn't bug me. But paying somebody to do it for you just so you can get this one thing, it's like, yeah, that's cheating and that's cheap, especially when you're paying someone who has done it for others several times. This was really rampant during the um when the PvP weapons, pinnacle weapons were really, really good to the point where it was almost a required tool for doing PvE. People were paying for the service to get Mountaintop, Recluse. Um, I don't know what else. There's a couple other things. And so, yeah, it was really bad back then. Now, not so much, since most everything is either on a ranking track or it's just a random drop. So it's a little more kind of have to just hope you get it. But when that was a thing, it was much bigger issue. Bungie fought it. They've stopped it. There are some of these services still out there for games like Apex, which I'm like, what? It's out there for Rocket League, which I'm like, why is why is this a thing? Like,
Yeah,
it's
Rocket League
insane.
is a game that I enjoy to play, right? I enjoy playing it a lot.
Yeah,
But yeah, I can see that being out there for Rocket League because there are people who want to be able to play and enjoy this and that, whatever. But they
and
want the
don't wanna have to
rewards of
grind.
the
Yeah,
yeah, they want the rewards of the next level. So like they want the reward that says that they're a champ or that they're grand champ even. And it sucks, but like do the grind. That's me. You know, I'm grinding it out. Um, I want the rewards at the end of this season that says that I'm champ.
yeah,
The season ends in 2 days. Am I going to get the rewards? No. Um, I can one game away from champ, and I'm still not going to get the rewards because those people who get their friends who are up there at champ and higher to load accounts that are lower just to boost them up so they can have the reward. I'm like,
yeah,
how's that fair to people like myself who are legit fighting and grinding and I'm not going to hit it because somebody who's much higher decides to go in and kill that.
yeah.
You know, it's rough.
It's one of the things that like a lot of this started years ago when live services and live games became a thing and the whole reward track became a thing. Destiny was the first that I know of that kind of brought a major spotlight to this issue. Um, and so getting back to Destiny as the recent issues with the game, I understand. Again, I understand people are upset with the way the narrative plays out in the campaign of Lightfall. There are elements that I agree. Why did this happen? Why did that happen? But I also understand Bungie's whole we want to tell you a very deep story going into this final story expansion for this particular story that they've been telling. Because yes, we've been getting these little chapters here and there. Like Lightfall is a chapter in this big story. It's a saga. It's a light and dark saga, that they wanted to tell you. And we're the next expansion a year from now is mostly the story elements have already been written. They've been working on this expansion for like 2 years now. So all they're working on now is the mechanical stuff, the behind the scenes stuff that's going to be changing the ability tuning, weapon changes, new weapons they might be bringing in, all that stuff. That's all being built now. That is one thing people don't understand with the way Bungie does their games. They do the story narrative way before they start actually building shit for the game.
Yeah.
They've done that since Halo. Like they wrote out the story for Halo before they even built Master Chief in game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're very good at telling a story. People being frustrated with the way the story is playing out this year, I get it, but that's the thing. They want to keep players engaged because that is one of the ways a live service game stays a live service game is if they have players. Case in
Yeah.
point, one of the games I played was Avengers. Avengers recently announced that they are shutting down. They're not shutting down the servers, but they are essentially they're not going to support the game anymore going forward. And I think sometime next week or the week after is when the last update will come out, and then that's it. And I personally was a little bummed out to hear that. I was really hoping for the game to grow and build a little more. I haven't been able to play it in a while, but to hear that was really disappointing because it reminds me of the other Marvel game I enjoyed many years ago. And it just sucks that that's kind of the way a lot of these live service games goes is that if they lose that player base, the developer is going to say, nope, we're done. We're not, no one's playing the
Yeah.
game. Those that are just not, it's not enough. Um,
Right.
right now, the other thing that pissed me off, and I'm going to say it pissed me off because it did, was on Steam. So many people were unhappy with Lightfall and all this stuff. And I'm like, How many
Epic.
of you actually fucking played the game? How many of you are just bandwagoning and just saying, "Yeah, let's shit on the game. Maybe they'll fix it." It's not how it works. When it's story narrative stuff, they're not gonna fucking fix it. They're not gonna give you what you're demanding right now. When it's a game breaking glitch or something, they're gonna fix it. You know, whether it's good or bad, they're gonna fix it because they don't want that in the game.
Yeah.
But as far as the story narrative stuff goes,
You know,
that's not
that falls in line right with just the way society works when it comes to money, you know. I want to be able to live in this apartment by myself and not have a roommate. You need to raise minimum wage. Okay, well, guess what happens when you raise that? The price goes up. So in this scenario, um, they want to have something happen in the story narrative. Okay, well, let's say they release an update on the story narrative. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to have to pay another $50 for it. Like, I get that. You know, I understand, but do you really want it right this second? No, because you're not willing to spend that extra $50. So Bungie knows it. You know what I mean?
yeah. The thing is they wanted to, like I said, they wanted to draw the story out over the next year so that going into that the final shape, which is the next big expansion, they want you to have all the information you need so that when you day one start it, you know what's going on in the story. You know about this, you know about that, you know why this is happening, why that is happening. You know all this stuff because you've played it over the last year and you've probably played it several times. So you will have it more locked in your memory and in your brain. So when these moments happen, you're like, oh, that's why that's happening, you know, and it just clicks and everything makes sense.
Yeah.
That's how he tells stories. They've done it for decades now. They're good at it. Just give it time. Trust me, it's gonna be worth it. Just wait.
Yeah.
My issue came with people just immediately assuming that that was it. Like that, what the fuck? And again, some of the complaints are valid. I agree with some of them. But as far as the way they're telling the story, I like this storytelling. It gives me a reason to keep coming back, not just for the, oh, new guns, new gear, yay, new seasonal stuff. No, there's now an actual overarching story that's happening inside of these little stories they're telling as well. So, yeah,
Right.
I'm all, you know, it gives me more of an immersive experience, which is what I want from this game. That has been one of my complaints about the seasonal content since they started doing it, is that why the fuck am I doing this? What's the point? What's going on here in this story? Like what's the point? You know?
Yeah.
So again, for me, I'm thrilled that they're stretching the campaign out over the full story of the campaign over the next year, incorporating it into stuff like the new raid that comes out this Saturday, which I really wish I could fucking do. Sadly, I have to work till fucking 3:30.
I would say when you do raids, how many people do you need to run them?
Depending on the raid and the skill level of the players, you can run them legitimately with 2 people if you are that good. But for the average players like you and me, you would need 6 people. In fact, it's kind of a mandatory to have 6 people. You can get away with 5, but 6 is the, yeah, because of mechanics in the raid, you need 6 people.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I ask because we have you, we have Elliot, we have me, and then I have two people that the two guys that I work with that I could reach out to them and say, "Hey, we're trying to get together to do a raid or a dungeon or whatever where we need the six." And I'm sure that
Dungeons
they'd
don't
be
need
down. I'm just saying, I'm sure
oh,
they'd be down if they had uh the notice of, "Hey, this is what we're trying to do. Do you want to join us?" They'd be like, "Yeah." You know what I mean?
yeah, I'd be all for that. I mean, like I said, I've been looking for a group of people to do the raids with on a regular basis, um, for a couple years now. And that's one of the things that sucks is there are things that I would like to do. Like I want to get the Touch of Malice, which is an exotic scout rifle from King's Fall. I want to get Beck's Mythoclast. I want to get this. I want to get that. I want to get those raid exotics because some of them are really strong. Some of them, um, but it's just I like doing those activities, you know, they're fun and with the right group of people, you can get them done pretty damn fast. If you're really diligent about it and you have good gear set, you can go in there, turn and burn and be out in like 45 minutes if you have a good group and people are not just, fumbling through it.
Right.
Um, which is what happens whenever have joined an LFG group is that, yeah, or worse, as much as I love my boy Gio, he and his buddies, every time we get to a new encounter, they kind of sit there and, chit chat for a minute. I'm like, I don't want to sit here and chit chat. Let's go. Like, are we ready? Like, what are we waiting on? Um, and recently when I play with him, it was straight up like bing, bing, bam, 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 right through the whole thing. And I'm all, damn, like that was fast. And I was thrilled because that meant we had more time to do other stuff. I miss that. I'd rather get it all done and then just be like, all right, cool. That was fun. I enjoy myself more when I get more things done as opposed to just, okay, yeah, so what are you doing tomorrow? You know, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. It's frustrating for me because one, I don't really know all these people, so it's like I can't even really be a part of the conversation. And
Right.
so it's like, are we like
I think that's the bonus. I think that's the bonus with Josh and Brandon is like we like you and me. Like we play the game. We don't really sit there and talk because if we want to talk, we talk at work. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you and me is we when we stream, we talk. When we play, we play. Um, we talk as well, but we can talk while we play.
Yeah. The other thing is though, most of the time when I run with Geo, there's always somebody in there that isn't one of their usual crew. So they either have to, make sure this person knows what the fuck they're doing or something along those lines, which again, I understand that. But it's that in between where you're getting ready to start the next encounter and someone's got to go to the bathroom or, which again, that I get 100%. There have been times I got to go take a dump or something and it's like, hey, yeah, don't start it. I got to go. But and it's not just I'm not just picking on my boy here. It's just it's and many other times I've done LFGs and it's like the people who are regulars, they're sitting there like, okay, cool. We have a moment to breathe, and I get it. You just take a second, catch your bearings, get ready for this next encounter, make sure you've got the right stuff on to get it done right and get it done fast. And I get that, but it can get frustrating. Um,
Yeah, I feel you.
when you're just like sitting there and they just keep going on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And everyone's there and everyone's ready and everyone's just sitting there chit chatting. And it's like, can we fucking go? So, so yeah, that's my only frustration about doing LFG groups. Is just that happens a lot. You also run up to people who expect you to be, top tier player and you're not, and they're expecting you to carry them through, which I've had that happen a couple times as well. And I'm like, look, man, I'm good at this game. I'm not that good. And I don't
Yeah,
think there's
that's
anybody that's good that can carry five other people through a fucking raid. That's just no
right.
one is that good. And I've been in teams where that's happened and I'm just like, fuck this. Last year with the launch of the raid, I joined a group of guys and they were good guys. We bashed our head against the wall for 3.5 hours doing the same fucking part. It wasn't because the difficulty, it was just people, they were kind of expecting someone else to carry it. And when I realized that was what was going on, I just said, fuck it. I'm not getting through this encounter, but at least I got to touch the part of the raid on day one. So I had fun, but I would have
Yeah.
rather completed the encounter. It's like that is my mentality. Like I'm all for having fun, but at some point, you can only do the same thing 100 times before you're like, I'm done now. I'm so
Yeah.
fucking done. Which is
Yeah.
what's happened to me with the campaign is that there have been a couple parts where I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do this again. I want to go take a break. Um, especially when you add that extra person, the difficulty just skyrockets real fast, and it's just not fun. So, but other
I
than that,
I mean, I
uh,
feel you. I did, like I said, I did missions 3 through 8 with Brandon and Josh in the campaign, and the difficulty was it was all right. Like it was hard, but it wasn't too hard. It was just a matter of finding the rhythm and beating the guys a certain way, and then it was cakewalk. You know.
yeah, it is definitely a challenge. to play through the campaign with more than one person. If I'll say this right now, if anyone wants an easy fucking way to just play through the campaign, the easiest thing to do is flat out throw on Osteostrega.
What
Throw
the
on the
hell is that?
submachine gun from Witch Queen and you're done.
Uh,
And it annihilates everything. And make sure you put on what is it? Hang on. Kinetic weapon surge. You put that on and the means to get orbs and create orbs off of kinetic kills, and you're just mowing down everything. Don't worry about abilities, just max out survivability and just mow through everything. If you're trying to do it solo, that's the easiest way to do it. You're trying to do it with a group, that's the easiest way to do it. It's all about being able to clear the ads quickly and efficiently. And to me, that was the easiest way to do it. Just
word.
absolutely easiest way to do it. So that or have a
Yeah.
really strong void build. Because void and solar are kind of, yeah, if you have the right build, you're gonna nuke everything you come across. So that's been my experience.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Word.
so to get away from Destiny, I haven't seen it. I don't know if you've watched it yet, but the first episode of uh, The Mandalorian's newest season just came out.
Oh, I
I've
did. I
heard
saw it.
I will not be watching it until the last episode.
What? Wow, you're gonna binge it?
Yeah. Well,
All
no, the
right,
thing is,
so let's discuss what happens.
no.
Um,
No, you do that, I will fucking get the podcast real quick. Like,
the part that really bothered me was Mando died.
yeah, okay. That I know is bullshit, but thank you for that spoiler. Anyways, no, I've heard, like, the thing is, so when me and Kim first met, I think the first season of Mandalorian had just come out. And
Okay.
it just finished. And so she and I sat down and watched it in one sitting. And then the next season came out and we didn't watch it until it finished. And then we sat down one day and just from morning to night watched the whole fucking thing, you know? And that kind of became our thing. And we were looking forward to the third season. And then they came out with the Book of Boba Fett instead. And so she was just like, the thing that sucks is now I know there's big elements from that story that were incorporated in the new season of Mandalorian. And I'm like, oh crap.
They weren't
Watch this
really
again.
that big. No, it wasn't really that big of a deal. Like
Not
you're
yet. It's only been the first episode.
right. No, I'm saying is even if there was stuff that was from Book of Boba Fett into the Mando, to be completely honest, I didn't realize it.
Yeah. For one of the biggest things was that, spoiler if you haven't watched Book of Boba Fett, Grogu is with Mandalorian at the start of season 3, which a lot of people, if you haven't watched the Book of Boba Fett, will have no fucking clue what the hell happened. So that is where I'm at. I have to watch both of those now. I have to watch Book of Boba Fett with her before she can watch the first episode of season 3.
See,
So
I
on my
watched
next
all of Book of Boba Fett, but I don't remember why Grogu was with Mando.
So he left Mando at the end of season 2 to go be with the Luke Skywalker and to train as a Jedi.
Right, I remember
During
that.
Book of Boba Fett, he left Skywalker and went back to Mando. He
I
made the
remember
choice
that.
to drop his
And
training.
it had to do with something about somebody was in trouble and they said you can't have both.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
So again, when season 3 starts, if you only watched the last season of Mandalorian and been waiting for season 3, you have no idea what happened during Book of Boba Fett. So when that first episode airs, you're like, wait, why is Grogu back? When that happened? What the hell? Why didn't they explain this? They did. It was in Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. Well, at the same
So
time too, like there was the last 2 episodes of Book of Boba Fett. I actually made the comment. I'm like,
they're
how
basically,
did you like the first 2 episodes of Mandalorian?
what do you mean?
The
The very first
last
episodes?
Yeah, the last episodes of Book of Boba Fett had more Mando than Boba.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I said, how did you like the next episode of Mando?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm looking forward to watching it. I know you have seen it. I want to discuss it, but when I brought it up to her last night, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, the new season started," and then she goes, "But I have to watch Book of Boba Fett still, right?" And I'm like, "Oh motherfucker!" And so it's like, "All
So
right, when
watch
are we
it.
gonna sit down and watch it?" That's the
Yeah.
thing. We could do that. We could sit down and watch it, but we have to like it literally would be a full day, and I'm like, I don't really have the time like I did a year ago to sit down and just binge a show.
I
I mean,
mean,
the
she's
comics are
home right
amazing.
now, right?
Yes, but she is working, like
Oh, she's
literally
working
working.
from home.
Yeah, she's working from home today, so that's why she's home. But even if she wasn't, dude, I only get 2 days off a week, and that's the only time I have to game or stream or do anything right now. So yeah, no, I'm not giving up that this time. Not to sit and watch a show I've already watched. So
Wow. That's
like,
savage right there. He's like, nah, bitch. I love you, but I don't love you enough for that.
no, it's not that. It's just I'm kind of tired of just sitting and watching TV. Well, it's not that. Like I love doing that. But some days I'm just like, I don't wanna watch TV. I mean, I'd rather, we got a new game, board game called, Duel, Seven Wonders Duel. That game is fucking fun, man. I would recommend you get that for you and Jill. Um, it's a lot of fucking fun. It's a real simple, easy to play game. It is a competitive game, and I know you and Jill can be a little competitive with each other, so that game would be
We're
perfect for you
not, I say we're not competitive with each other, but we are competitive with other people.
Well, I think you guys would have fun with it because we enjoy the hell out of it. We've played it, and then we're like, we gotta play this again, and we'll play it again and again and again. It's that fun. Um, one of my biggest frustrations is that she can't play the games like video games that I want to play. I got her hooked on Animal Crossing because I got it for her for Christmas. I've never played
Hmm.
Animal Crossing. So it's funny when she comes to me, she's like, "How do I do this?" And I'm all, "You're asking a guy who plays Destiny all the time." So she's enjoying that, and she plays Mario Party, and we got her into playing Mario Kart a little bit, and she enjoys those games. But a game like Destiny, it just for some reason, it's the controls, it just she can't get into it. Um, I think it's the whole first person element,
Yeah.
because in her
See,
mind,
if you ever ever have questions about how to do something in Animal Crossing, reach out to me, buddy.
I'll let you know.
Like, I mean, that's
I will
real.
let
Like,
you know.
I have bred every type of flower. In fact, I could open my island and give her stuff. I think I have
Oh, you would make her so
max
fucking happy.
gold. I have gold, fishing rods, slingshots. Like, I have everything you can do in Animal Crossing, and I have a giant ship made out of mountains in the back of my thing. Like that alone is has brought people to my island. Like they're like, I want to see your pirate ship because I made a pirate ship before pirate stuff was even brought into the game.
That's
And then I was
funny.
like, ooh, I could put a cannon here and I could put this there. And I've got blue roses on the back as wavy moving water. I'm like, yeah, dude. And then it
Yeah,
became this
see
big thing. And I'm like, oh, now mine's a moot point.
but no, it's like that's the thing she's into. She's into those kind of games and stuff like that, and I all for it. But a lot of the times we will sit and just watch TV, and it's like I don't really want to sit and watch TV. I'd rather do something, whether it's play a game, just sit and talk, whatever. Most days, neither one of us has the energy to do that, so it's just like, and that's just mm,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like I would rather be productive, especially with the way Destiny is right now and Warframe. I haven't touched Warframe in a while, and they've got huge stuff coming out for it. I'm really excited to play it, but I'm more interested in what's going on in Destiny. And for me, I'm probably going to spend the next year almost exclusively in Destiny. I will play Warframe, I will play other games, um, but I'm more invested now in Destiny because of what they're doing and how they're telling the story and all that than I was a year ago. or even 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was kind of like, "Nah, whatever." But I also
Right.
didn't have anybody to really play with, and the game was not it wasn't as user friendly as it is right this second. Like right now, I could jump in with you, help you put a build together, and we could go mow everything down, and you would have fun because you're no longer locked behind the gear you have and the mods you can't get. You have everything at your disposal, so you can do the things I'm doing. You can have the builds I have. You can play the game the way you want to play it and enjoy it and not have to worry about how do I get this? When can I get this? I need that mod
Yeah.
for this reason. How do I get that? And they're going to be adding mods over the next year that further enhance people's builds. So that's another thing. And these mods will be extremely accessible. You will do one thing and you get all of them. Like they've said that already. You will not have to buy individual mods. You will do one activity in the journeys tab and instantly have them. And I'm like, well, fuck me. Give me that now. So,
Right. Yeah, for real.
so yeah. And I'm all for it. It means you have to play the game and you have to, go down these paths. You get access to all kinds of cool stuff when you do that. They want to make the game more accessible both to the diehard players. They want to reward them for playing the game and playing the game a little bit exclusively, but also they want to make it something that people like Elliot, who doesn't play the game as diehard as I do, have something to do. Because you know how you've said this. Okay, what do I do? What am I supposed to do right now? What should I be doing? I
Yeah.
can literally just say, look at your journeys tab. What do you need to do? Do that. How do I do that? It says everything right there. It tells you where to go and how to do it. And there you go. That will help you progress with the game. They've put the tools for you to get better at the game and learn this stuff in the fucking game. You don't have to have someone like me telling you, okay, here's
But they did not tell me where to go to start the goddamn campaign.
technically yes they did.
No,
You
they
just
didn't. No, like so when I bought it and loaded it, that's when it said it. Just do this in legendary or normal,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I'm not ready to do that yet, so no, and I canceled that. And then I went through and
So
did like all the normal stuff that I wanted to do,
mhm.
and then there was
But
no
the
other
indicator
thing that said do this to start the campaign.
so the indicator was on Neptune the whole time because
No,
it's been there since I started.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is as soon as I hit
But it doesn't
cancel,
there's no
I
splash
didn't
page
have
that
an
says
indicator.
yeah, it doesn't directly say, "Hey, when you're ready to start the campaign, this is where you wanna go." That's
No,
not there unless you're aware
that's
of
not what
it.
I'm saying. So like, you know how when you have anything happening on a certain location, you get that little green orb, or
No.
there's something that signals that you have a task in this area. Like I have a green orb slash square or green square with an orb in the center of it that says, or maybe it's a gold orb. I don't know. Anyway,
Gold
there's
orb
something that
so
says you have stuff to do here. There was
mhm,
nothing about the campaign, so I went into my little quest thing that said, you know, these are your quests to earn the different things. I'm like, well, maybe
mhm.
there's one thing in here that says for the campaign, but I'm not 100% sure what the hell I'm looking at. So again, I didn't know exactly what to look for. So I went ahead and I was like, all right, well, what if I restart the game again? Well, then it say, hey, look, campaign. No, it didn't. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm fucked. I paid $50 for this campaign. I have no idea where to go. And I still, to this moment, would not be running the campaign until you said go to that part because I still have Witch Queen shit that I was focusing on. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And all the stuff that I paid for, the $200 or $300 worth of Beyond Light and all the other shit that's now gone, I'm so mad about. Like, I'm
What do you
like,
mean it's
cool.
gone?
How about you refund some of my money?
What do you mean it's gone? The
So,
online's
like,
not gone.
I don't have a Beyond Light tab thing anymore, which I had before Lightfall,
So that means you don't have any quests for Beyond Light anymore.
but I did. That's what I'm saying. Is
You have okay,
I
so
had a
Beyond
campaign or some sort of thing through Beyond Light, and now it's gone. Which means I'm sure I can access it through the the past things,
you have to go to
but the
the
indicator's
archive.
gone. You know what I mean? Like I have to go back and fucking find it and research, and it's just a big hassle.
Yeah.
And none of that is in
I'm
Journey. That's my point. Like, yes, I know how to find it, or yes, I can re-find it, but it doesn't tell me how that or that I can in general. Like, I knew that it's there, and it's not there anymore, and there's nothing
so
that says that I can go do it again.
yeah, so that is technically it is in the journey path, but it's a step that you apparently have already done. So that's why you didn't get that information. Um I don't know why your quests went missing because they shouldn't have. So either A, you completed it and just don't realize you completed it, or B, it did get somehow thrown into the lost archives thing that's in the tower and in the what's the other one? The fucking the some bitch. The helm. Um, but I mean the only way that happened is if either A, you deleted it by accident, or B, and this is the thing that I would be shocked if they did, if they removed it or something. I don't know. As far as the tab under your like quests, yeah, no. All the past stuff would be in the past quest tab. Anything that's not current either to the season or to Lightfall's campaign is in that tab because I just looked and Witch Queen's tab isn't there either. So yeah, that's something they change every year. But again, that's not something they explain. So if you don't know where to look for it, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's what I'm saying right there. Is
I figured that's
it
what you were saying.
didn't it didn't tell me, but I did go through stuff like all the different exotics and the little things, the quests that I had already had up live, you know,
Mhm.
missions or complete these things, you've accepted this bullshit, yada yada. I've gone through all of those, and that's how I knew I still had it. But it doesn't show me anymore on the map unless you like add the this is the one that I'm actively tracking. So
Yeah.
then it'll ping and say, okay, this is where you need to go for the actively tracking shit.
So speaking of the tracking, you know how before you can only track like 2 or 3 items?
Yeah,
You can track more than that now. So you can track your bounties, you can track more bounties, you can track more quest steps, activities, whatever. You can track more things, which is a good thing because I've
it's
personally
both
had it
good
happen.
and bad.
It can be, yeah. But I've had it happen where I was trying to do one thing and it just so happened I had steps that were available for a similar quest or whatever. And so being able to track those steps just at a glance is amazingly helpful. But when you are limited to, oh, you can only have these many things tracked, it's like, well, that fucking sucks. I want to know how much more I have to do on this. And
Right.
now you have that option. You can have all the stuff you want tracked plus a little more.
Yeah,
Um,
especially since
means you
it's
can get
so
more done.
similar.
Yeah. But and like I said, they did a lot to improve the quality of the game, and I get people's frustrations with the campaign, but I'm actually enjoying Strand. I'm enjoying the way the game plays. I'm enjoying the fact that the artifact is not a mod you have to install. Just it's there permanently active at any time. It doesn't matter what build you're on, these perks are available to you by default. Um, it makes it so much easier to run champion mods, the weapons to deal with champions just by having them available and just equipping the weapon that you've associated that perk with. It, it also means I can have reload mods that I couldn't have before because I had to have champion mods. So yeah, unless I'm using abilities, I'm not reloading fast, or I have to have a gun with an extremely high reload speed. Otherwise, it's just fuck, man. So I'm thrilled they made those changes. I personally like the campaign. I like what they've done with the game. I like the additions, the changes. I wish more of what they promised had been delivered at start of Lightfall, but I get why they held it back. Um, but yeah, I'm enjoying it. And some of the people I've spoken to at my work that play the game, they agree with the mass majority that the campaign's a little confusing and frustrating, but they enjoyed it and they enjoyed the changes. The one thing people are bitching about the most is that Strand is both too weak and too powerful all at the same time. It's too powerful in PvP and it's too weak in PvE. I agree 100%. it is very powerful in PvP, and it's broken in PvE. Like it's just unless you're using a very, very specific build, you are not going to have fun using Strand in PvE right now. Because it's just not strong. And then several weapons just they do not hit as hard as they used to. And I don't know if that's because of changes they made or what, but the game just yeah, like the exotic auto rifle, if you put the catalyst in, it loses all of its damage. Like it just instantly becomes a second like just yeah, it's not good unless you specifically spec out to make it stronger. And even then on Neptune, it's it's not as strong as it should be. So a little frustrating there, but I get it. That's something that they're working on fixing. And I think some of the fixes might be coming this week because of the raid. We'll see. But I have a feeling Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, a lot of things are going to be disabled for a while. Like certain guns are currently disabled in certain activities because they're just broken. Like they're too strong or something. And it's like, okay, whatever.
Right.
But anywho, um, it's almost 11:30 my time, and I really like to get back to playing a game because we've talked about it enough. Well, I've talked about it enough.
Hey, this time you weren't alone. I've talked too, quite a bit
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, it was nice to have something to bounce off of for a change.
Right.
No, but so we are going to be ending the podcast here, you guys. We thank you guys for joining us. Before we go, really quickly, what are you up to right now?
Right now, I'm practicing air roll and flying around because Destiny was making too much sounds during the stream. And
Okay.
in Rocket League, I can actually turn all game sound off and do the drills that I need to do in practice, and it's no big deal. So like I've been practicing flying around for shit for 2 hours or for an hour,
So,
and
just to be
it's
clear, I
fine.
thought you got the big season pass. You got the $100 one with all the season passes and stuff. Did you not
With
get that
this
version
one
with
for
Destiny? Yeah.
Destiny, no, not this one. I did with all the other ones, but not this one because I knew that all the other ones I never got everything out of it that I should have gotten. So I was legit throwing money away. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm done with that. So I just got the $50 one and going from there.
Okay. Um. So just heads up, if you do want to get the season passes to get all the fun stuff, um, let me know.
I still have season passes available from the last one. Like it came with 2 season passes or whatever.
Um,
With
the
the
items
Beyond
for the
Light.
season pass, yeah, those the content that you can get from the actual pass, all those rewards are gone. Like you can't get them once
No, no,
the season.
no. So like when I got Beyond Light, it said it came with Beyond Light and 2 season passes. So I could get the
Mhm.
next expansion and not have to pay for the season pass. If it was a matter of it came that fast, right? And then when I got Witch Queen and 2 season passes.
You got the season pass and the dungeon key with that.
I
The
don't.
season
Yeah,
pass. So
maybe.
the season pass is it covers
Um.
every one of the seasons for
Yeah.
the course
This
of the
this one. Let me close Rocket League. This one I got the season pass. I'm sorry. I got um Lightfall. Right.
because wait, didn't you get the auto rifle?
Yeah. I have
You
the
had to
season
have paid
pass
for
right
two.
now.
That means you
No.
got the $100 one, dude.
No,
Because
I
the only way
didn't.
you get the
I'm
auto
I'm
rifle.
telling you. I'm telling you right now. I did not pay for the $100 one. I paid $50.
Okay. Because I remember you could
Um,
only get the auto rifle with the big pass. Like you couldn't get it with the little.
unless you have Amazon Prime Gaming, or
No,
Prime
it wasn't
Gaming,
associated with
whatever.
that. It wasn't associated with that.
Well, then
Yeah,
maybe I
and
don't have the auto rifle. It's that
you
it's
had
that
it, dude.
easy.
No, you had it. You had it. Like I saw you had it. You have Quicksilver. You used it.
If if um I did get I got a assault rifle through Prime Gaming on Twitch,
Hmm.
and then but this I 100% I can check my bank. I paid $50 for Lightfall.
Huh.
Um
I don't know. You may have gotten a discount on it or something. I don't know, but from my understanding, the only way to get the Quicksilver was to buy the big annual pass, the $100 one, because pre-ordering just the base game, you didn't get Quicksilver early or the Sparrow or any of that other stuff. Like you only got the game. That's it. You got nothing else. So maybe I'm wrong.
And
Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe
I say
you did
maybe
get.
I got it because it came with Epic. I mean that's a possibility too. Purchasing through Epic and
Maybe.
purchasing through PlayStation have had different perks with other games.
And sometimes they have discounts, yeah. So there's possibility that it was discounted at launch, like at the
Start.
release.
Uh,
Like
the assault rifle that you're talking about, is it in?
it's an exotic.
No, is it in your primary slot?
It's in your kinetic slot. It's called Quicksilver Storm.
All right, dim. No, I have to look it up. Uh,
Again, for those of you that have been following during the stream, thank you guys. I do appreciate it. I'm not ignoring you guys' follows. I don't have notifications on during the podcast. Um, but yeah, thank you guys for the follows. I do appreciate it. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. But yeah, no, Quicksilver Storm, to my understanding, was exclusively tied to the $100 one.
and
Um,
Epic is the yellow color, right?
Exotic, yes.
That's where you're saying Quicksilver Storm is.
Yes.
I would not have destroyed a yellow background thing, and I don't have one.
It's probably in your check your collections. Go to exotic and then it's on the second page. It's the second from the left on the bottom. Like
Oh,
it's on
as
the
a
left hand
task
side.
to do.
No, 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 no. Go into your character screen, then go to collections, and then exotic is on the left upper corner. Click on that,
Uh-huh.
then hit the right D-pad once. Quicksilver Storm should be the second from bottom available in that tier.
Oop, weapon. Right. Oh no, that's armor.
Not the shoulder buttons, the D-pad.
Oh. Yeah, I see Quicksilver Storm. It says require and details.
It says reacquire,
Yeah,
so you can rebuy it.
that's weird. Like I said, I wouldn't have destroyed it. So why would it say
It may be in your
reacquire?
vault. It may be in your vault.
But I load dim and I
Here's the
don't
thing. Now
see it in the vault.
go to Master Raoul.
Oh, wait. There it is. I see it. I sees it.
Yeah. Now if you go to Raoul at the very top, if you don't have any Ingrams, you should see an option that says Raoul's Secret Stash. If you see that, you definitely have what should have been $100 pack. You got it for $50. So that means you did get the season pass as well.
I do have a season pass going right now. I do know that.
Yeah, that was so. A lot of people thought the season pass was included with Lightfall. It was not. The first season for this current season it was not included with the purchase of Lightfall. It's
Well, god
only
damn it.
with. So you got the full pack, but for $50. So you must have got it on sale.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Well,
I'm
you
gonna
bought it
actually
the same
pull up
day.
my bank account right now and find out because I bought it day one.
I remember talking about it with you, and you were like, "Yeah, no, I got the whole season pass and everything." I think you bought the whole thing because, like I said, you have Raoul's Secret Stash at the Cryptarch, and you had
When was it
some extended
released?
start the season pass, like the when you could
Was
pre-order
it
it.
March 1st?
No,
Not the pre-order release, the release of Lightfall.
February 28th, last Tuesday.
PayPal 24th. Nope, I wouldn't. That's not that one.
It was the 28th.
I don't think. Let's see. I don't think it was that one. It could be that one, but I have a PayPal thing on the 24th for $99.99. But then on March 1st, which is when I think I bought it, is $49.99 on PayPal. So I don't know.
So
it could be either.
So I think you may have bought it on Xbox, but then you switched over to Epic.
I did not buy it on Xbox. The last thing I bought on Xbox was Witch Queen, and then my Xbox made its way to the living room. And
no,
I've
you
only
were
gone through.
So
No, I know. When I started playing on PC and we were having that issue of us playing together with Elliot, remember when you were like, "Hey, let's do this." Oh shit, we can't. I went through and I bought everything on PC. Like every expansion that I had bought on Xbox, I bought it all on PC again. So that's, another $800 in the game. And then I didn't buy Lightfall until either the day it was released or a couple days after it was released because Josh was playing it and had already been level 1700 and something the day that I got it.
It's good to see you alive, Gordon.
Yeah, so I think you did pre-order it beforehand, James, on the Microsoft PC version, and then you switched over to Epic and you bought it again.
I'm telling you, I didn't. I only did it once. I did not pre-order it on Xbox.
When did you start playing on Epic? Because you had Quicksilver Storm
Hold on.
the day it came out. So
Hey, can I call you right back? Okay, well, I'm streaming, so you're gonna have to wait. All right.
If we end, the data ends with us.
I said, "Can I call her right back?" She said, "No."
Terrible to comprehend.
All right,
God,
anyway.
good.
Yeah, I know 100% for a fact I did not buy it on Xbox because I knew I was not playing on Xbox anymore.
Well, either way, I
yeah.
think you have the season pass somehow. I don't know how you have it, but you have the full season pass.
Yeah.
So yeah, because the only way, if you, like I said, if you have Raul's secret stash at the Cryptarch, then you have the full season pass. You have the full annual pass.
Okay.
So yeah, that means you'll be able to do the exotic mission that apparently is coming. That'll give you a new glaive. I don't know anything about it, and I'm very interested to learn more about it. And I'm hoping that released today. But I'm on my phone, so
right.
I'm now over to my Warlock, and I'm gonna go play the game.
So yeah, I gotta go too. So I'm out. So yeah, thank you guys again for tuning in. Go ahead. You say it. You spiel it.
Thank you guys for joining us. We thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We will be back next week for another episode of the Road to Nowhere podcast. He's going to take off. I'll catch you guys tomorrow for a stream. Until next time, adios.